The grim darkness of the far future is usually defined by the monolithic, crushing rigidity of Imperial dogma, or the eldritch horror of chaos. But in the raucous, trigger-happy, and unapologetically chaotic movement of Justin Woolley's Freebooterz Code, the galaxy is seen through a different, much more dented lens, the lens of an orc pirate. This isn't a tale of high strategy or philosophical introspection. It is a visceral, deeply intense plunge into the logistical nightmare of maintaining a functioning warfleet, held together by nothing more than looted scrap, aggressive superstition, and a collective reality-warping belief that, as long as it's painted red, it goes faster. Woolley hooks his audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap. A band of freebooters, the outcasts, the mercenaries, and the absolute madmen of orc society find themselves caught in a three-way crossfire between a dying Imperial hive-world and a splinter fleet of Tyranids, forced to decide whether to loot, fight, or loot while fighting in a war that threatens to consume their favorite stash of shiny bits. The narrative center zeroes in on the captain's methodical, high-pressure descent into the code, the unspoken, brutally enforced rules of orc piracy that determine who gets the biggest share of the scrap and who gets tossed into the airlock. As they traverse the rusted, engine-belching corridors of their jury-rigged battlecruiser and the chaotic, crater-strewn surfaces of the besieged planets, they realize that their survival depends not on traditional military doctrine, but on their ability to outthink, outshoot, and outloot enemies who have no idea how to fight a foe that considers a strategic retreat to be a tactical relooting opportunity. The investigation into a legendary cache of Imperial tech, the Big Prize, quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match as they discover that the prize is not just wealth, but a weapon capable of rearranging the entire sector's scrap economy. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing unruly, bickering crewmates, the constant, suffocating threat of the ship's erratic, scrap-built engines failing, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the sheer, relentless hunger of the Tyranid hive mind, they must synthesize a new way of existing, one built on tactical aggression, radical, improvised engineering, and an unyielding, purely orc refusal to let the galaxy go to waste without grabbing a handful of loot first. Woolley's writing style is unapologetically kinetic, machine gun fast, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of brutal orc dialect jargon, sharp, jaggedly funny prose, and high-stakes environmental dread. He builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of survival, patching hull breaches with scrap metal, haggling over teeth, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of constant, vigilant isolation between raids, with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the Tyranid swarm. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the asteroid fields, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with lethal bioengineered monstrosities into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable, reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp analytical focus, making every discovered stash of tech, every executed improvised boarding action, and every deep-seated fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the Wawa. What makes Freebooterz Code an exceptional entry in the Warhammer 40,000 canon is Woolley's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven orc captain whose pirate code is treated as a supreme navigational asset rather than a tragic fading memory. Watch as they transform their experience with scarcity into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic void to outmaneuver an Imperial bureaucracy and a Tyranid swarm that operate with absolute terrifying precision. As the structural walls of their reality begin to collapse and the true scope of Big Prize is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth they carry before their loot is permanently unstitched by the galaxy's relentless machinery. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leave the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of carnage and greed, this book delivers an unforgettable shockwave.